So we're back now for UFC 305. Um, First and foremost, like we always kind of talk about, I guess our last card was Lemos versus Jandaroba. It was Tom's card. And we didn't do one for, there's UFC 304, Sandhagen versus Nurmagomedov. Me and you talked back and forth. You were at my house. We enjoyed them, of course. And we got really close. I had Sandhagen against Nurmagomedov. We could recap it and sit here forever. There's a lot of some solid good fights, but then like last weekend, Tybura versus Spivak, I didn't bet it. Terrible fight card. But this week, man, good ass fight card. Um, I'm curious to see your take on this card too, like to see where you're at and who you have, because this card's like kind of reminded me of the card right before Tommy's fight. Remember when like all of them were like pick'ems?
Yeah.
Like this fight reminds me of it. There's only a few pick'em fights, but I see like an avenue where at the end of the third round there's gonna be some fights that are just like pick'em, just money. Like going into the
Yeah.
third. Like there's a lot of good fights on this card, man.
Yeah. And there's a couple where UFC heads are just kind of trying to get people, I feel like, out of the league. Like they're just throwing them to the dogs.
Yeah,
We'll get to those.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, man. I guess we can get right into it. Do you have anything to add before we get into this?
No.
All right. Well, like I told you, bro, I wanted to kind of switch it up, and let's start with the main event right away for UFC 305. Like, in my opinion, the long-awaited grudge match. These guys do not like each other. I personally feel
No.
like Israel Adesanya hates Dreykus more than Dreykus hates Izzy. Just
Yeah.
because, kind of, and I don't know. I know it's all a character and whatnot to get the eyes in, but something about Dreykus kind of rubs me the wrong way. I know he's a great fighter, and I'm not gonna let that get in the way of betting and whatnot. But I think it's a great fight, man. Grudge match in the making. So here we got the reigning defending champion, champion, Dreykus du Plessis, 21-2. He's on a great fight win streak. He's plus money. 30 years old, 6'1", 76-inch reach, big, stocky middleweight. I mean, he is nothing shy. Like, he's a middleweight. Could probably fight at light heavyweight. Um, Reigning champion. And then you got Izzy coming in, 24-3, number one in the world at middleweight. Just lost against Sean Strickland pretty decisively. Um, I think we could all agree he didn't look like he was in there. He needed some time off, dude. He fought literally like I want to say 6 or 7 months after knocking out Alex Pereira. So yeah, he did
Mm.
knock out Alex. Anyway, Izzy's a -1 right now. He's like a. I can give you the line on what we bet him on right now. I think he was a -115.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, -115. Drake is -105. So it's a pick 'em. Let's call it a pick 'em. A lot of people are talking Izzy's, he's 35 years old now. It's okay. So he's 5 years older than Drakus. Don't talk to me like, it's some crazy number. 6'4", 80-inch reach. He's going to have a 4-inch reach advantage. He's going to be 3 inches taller. And when these two face off, personally, I kind of see that. And Tapology, 4,300 picks. It's literally 50-50. Like 50% is going Izzy, 50 is going Drakus. 50 of that percent, 66% of that is by KO. Tapology picks is people think Izzy's gonna knock him out. And if history has it, man, Dreykus du Plessis is not easy to get out of there. Dreykus has been finished one time. He's only lost 2 fights, and he got finished once. Never been finished in the UFC. Um, to be dead right honest though, like who has Dreykus fought that's like a knockout artist? Like I'm sorry, but not a lot of people. Like, what would you line? Yeah, this is what I personally wanted to ask you, Dill. What would you
You can
line
maybe
him?
say like Knuckles, but
Who is that? Oh yeah, yeah,
Rob
Robert Whitaker. You're
would.
right. Robert Whitaker, I think, is like the only one. Like Darren Till, he fought Darren Till when Darren Till was on his skid, and
Yeah.
Sean Strickland, beast, but he typically doesn't knock people out. Anyway, what would you line this fight? Um, Dricus du Plessis versus Alex Pereira when Alex was a middleweight.
Oh God, that would be a heavy favorite. I feel like.
I mean, think about. I just think I know MMA math. It never adds up. Shouldn't multiply, divide, add. It your math's everywhere with MMA. But Izzy fought Alex. He lost TKO punches in like the 5th round or 4th round. Came back, revenge his loss by knocking Alex out cold. I just don't see Dricus like knocking out Alex cold. I just think Izzy's so technical. So long story short, I just long breakdown. I'm excited for this fight, man. I'm not taking anything away from Dricus or Izzy. I just think, and I'm gonna say this now. I think Izzy is scary when he's the hunter. He's the contender looking for that championship belt. He's just like a different dude. He's motivated. I think he needed some time off. What did he say? He fought 6 fights in 15 months or 7 fights in 15 months. That's crazy, dude. So I'm going with our boy Israel Adesanya for this main event, and I do think it's a pick 'em. I think the line is awesome. I'm not taking anything away from Dricus. I do like the way he fights. He's a great fighter. I understand he's good too. He's on a big win streak right now. The one thing I am worried when I do pick Izzy is, excuse me, Dricus, his ground game is really good, and Israel Adesanya has gotten taken down by Jan Blachowicz. Alex Pereira actually took him down once. Sean Strickland took him down. Jared Cannonier tried. Some people are taking him down, and Dricus has a good game. So, but I just see it, man. Like after all the shit talk, Izzy's crying at the ceremony because he's talking about his dad. Do you see Dricus talk about his dad being a servant?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up, and like
Oh,
no one's ever cracked really Izzy's character like that before, like to make him actually come to tears. I mean, we all know he's a very emotional guy, he's very invested in everything, but no one's been able to do that like at a press conference before. So it's like, is that why some people are kind of edging him? Like, do you think DDP's already in his head, like already kind of cracking him? And I don't know, but yeah, I saw it. I mean, everybody probably did.
yeah, dude. I don't know how I feel about that, mate. Like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because it's like, damn, I'm picking Izzy, but is he gonna come out emotional and fight, try to knock him out and get hit by big shots, or is that gonna motivate him? And that's what we want him to go in there, guns a blazing, and throwing his crazy. I mean, this dude was an amazing kickboxer. You know, like I want the old Izzy back where he's starching Robert Whitaker, got him stinky legging around, Costa down, ass up in the air, and he's ground and pounding him out cold, doing dances over him. Like I don't know, man. I think Izzy. I faded him against Robert. I faded him in a few fights I shouldn't have, and I also won when he won. But I think he's just a better kickboxer. I think he'll be able to defend takedowns. And Dricus' cardio is always kind of like a question mark. And I know last year, Joe Rogan talked on his podcast that Dricus got his nose repaired and fixed. His deviated septum was all fucked up, so he couldn't breathe, and his cardio was an
Yeah.
issue. So I think it's a great main event, dude. I think it should be a pick 'em. I like both these guys. But here, I gotta tell you this right off the bat, brother. I got some bets coming this weekend because I didn't bet last weekend. Save the money for 305. So in one parlay with other people, it's a $5 bet. Okay, to win like 30 grand, and I need 8 things to happen. But the craziest thing on it is Israel Adesanya by knockout in rounds 1, 2, or 3.
Oh.
But tell me that's plus 475. Like that's not the craziest thing, right? Like hear me out. Israel Adesanya in when he switched over from kickboxing to mixed martial arts, and even in kickboxing, but his majority MMA, he's never knocked anybody out past the 3rd round. It's all 1st, 2nd, or 3rd round. And so, I mean, give me plus 475. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I have him in a different parlay. I think this one's more reasonable because you get the decision prop at plus 160. But the bet is Israel Adesanya in round 4, 5, or by decision. So
Yeah.
I'll get plus money. I think it's going to go decision. Izzy's probably going to beat him by decision, but on the off chance he knocks him out in the fourth or fifth, I'm still going to get it at plus money. So I like that one. And where's my last one here? Israel Adesanya money line. You can't go wrong. I had a minus 112. Yeah, dude. I have a few parlays right now, but I still got a bunch of money, a decent amount of money in there right now, and I'm going to make my bets tonight. But with a long breakdown, it's the main event. It's going to be the longest breakdown we do tonight. I'm going Israel Adesanya, man. What about you? Now you talk, because I talked for a long time there.
No, you said a lot of good things, a lot of things I kind of agree with. Yeah, I'm also going to go with Izzy as well. I do like this
Hell yeah.
fight, though, just because it brings back a little bit bad blood, Like, these two guys generally hate each other.
They
And
do.
yeah, I do think Izzy is on the downhill of his like career. Like he's past the pinnacle, I think. But if he wins back this belt, this is what he'll be the only middleweight to win the belt 3 times, right? So
Yeah.
and I think he can do it. So I think I'm gonna have faith in him one more time. He's gonna get it done. He's gonna live like the
I gotta
champ
say
that
one
he always
thing.
is.
I'm sorry to buzz in, and then I just want to say something, and you're back.
Oh, go for it.
You made a great point about like losing the belt and coming back. There's a stat out there that no champion over the age of 35 or older, has lost the belt and won it back like twice. Because he lost it against Alex, knocked him out, got it
Yeah.
back, and now he lost it against Strickland. And if he gets it back, he makes history. The only guy to do it was John Jones, but the PEDs and bullshit, that's not true. So he'd be the only guy to ever do it. So that's like another mile high. But another thing, they're in Auckland, New Zealand, his hometown. People don't like Dreykus there. They're all for Izzy. I mean, I don't even care, dude.
They're Perth,
Perth,
Australia.
Australia. Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's close to New Zealand. I mean, not close, but closer than South Africa, I believe. I don't know.
Something like that.
But
From
sorry.
from Auckland to Perth, it's like a 7 hour flight. Like it's on the opposite side of that hemisphere down there. Like it's insane.
Yeah, that is absolutely nuts. So I guess I
But
didn't
yeah,
even know.
South Africa is definitely a longer flight. I mean, they got to go across the whole Indian Ocean. So, but I don't know. I mean, it's a great fight. I do like where the Lions are at. I wish Israel would have been at like plus money for Pick'em, but I understand why not. Um, the issue I've had is a lot with like knockouts in the recent fights that these gloves I feel like are a little too padded. We haven't seen as many knockouts as we'd like to.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. But I am on the Izzy train. I think he's gonna get it done. I'm hoping it's gonna be rounds 4 or 5 as well because I have a bet for that. Um, but yeah, I mean DDP looks like a. Do I want to say like a better version of Strickland? I don't know. Is he gonna kind of like show up like that and just kind of march him down and get in Izzy's face? That's what a lot of people are saying. But I think Izzy's hungry. I think he's smarter. I think he's gonna piece him apart. So we'll see. And I also do think that like Izzy, I mean, we know how like much of a team player he is, and we know how much like in his own head he can kind of be. But that locker room, depending on how all the fights go throughout the night in that locker room, whether the energy's in there really high, I think Izzy's going to use it to his advantage. And if it's low, I don't know, he might use that to his advantage too. But it's going to be very interesting, and I'm very excited to watch.
Hell yeah, dude. I couldn't agree more. And damn, what was the point that you just said that I was gonna extend on? Um, Israel Adesanya. Yeah, Can Dreykus walk him down, and is he gonna be able to walk him down and take those shots and those quick straights right down the middle, or an uppercut, or a fucking question mark kick around? Hear me out, man. Like I really could see a style bender, crazy question mark kick
Dude,
that wraps around Dreykus around his ear, and
dude,
it hits you there. You're all discombobulated. Like, dude, I think I'm gonna throw like a $50 bet in the later rounds, like rounds 2, 3, or 4 knockout for Izzy. I think that's at like a plus 1200 or something. Let me look at this, dude. Since we're
I
here right now.
Yeah, and I mean we've all seen TDP and how he's fought before. Like he always kind of looks tired, but he dogs it out to the end. So it's like you never know what you're kind of getting with him. So
That's true.
Is he tougher than Strickland? Because like Strickland was the one who cracked Adesanya's case. Like this is how you beat this guy. You can't stay at range. You can't get pieced apart. You can't get counter punched. Like you have to keep the pressure on. You have to do a tremendous amount of volume, and you have to just get in his face. So is that what DDP's going to do, or is he going to tag him? It's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, dude. I just found that Israel Adesanya Israel Adesanya in rounds 3, 4, or 5 by knockout plus 800. I mean, I could see Dreykus, getting hit with some big shots, or just is he feeling them out in the first and second, hitting him, tagging him, and then start ramping up in the third and the fourth and the fifth, and like make it like I'm gonna beat this guy, and I'm gonna be the champion again. He's already talking. He's going back to Nigeria, South Africa, and Africa with the belt. And he's like,
Yeah.
he's confident, dude. I love when Izzy's confident in coming back. It's the same. He came back for the belt against Alex Pereira. Everybody thought it was too quick, including myself, and he knocks him out. He was losing that fight. He's getting hit, but he's boxing up well, and he hits him with that weird right hook, and it kind of wobbles him, and then left right on the temple, and you saw Alex's head bounce off the can. Like, dude, he knocked him out cold, and that was just a little over a year ago. Like, people are saying Izzy doesn't have knockout power now. Get the hell out of here, man. So I got Israel Adesanya. A lot of people are taking DDP. I'm sorry, bro. I have to pee so bad. So if you want to keep talking about this fight or move on to the next one, I'll be right back, okay?
All right.
Apologize.
Shake it twice, not 3 times.
Will do.
Gosh, it's going to be a good fight. I'm getting booed too at the press conference. Just smoking it all in. For the as everyone knows, we got Kai Kara France versus Steve Airsay. Steve is 12-2. He lost his last fight against Pantoja. That was 3 months ago. Don't blame Kara France. It's 24-11. He lost his last 2. And his last fight was a year and 2 months ago against Amir Albazi. Right now, I think Kai Kara France is the underdog plus 190, and Ursig is a favorite at minus 230. I just want to double check, make sure the site that we use is the same for that one. I'm just going to say now, I think I'm going to take Ursig in this one. The dude is just tough. I mean, just so durable and so tough. I don't know what is in his blood. You could hit him with a frying pan. You could hit him with a broom. Like, he is not going down. The site we use, the lines are a little bit closer. They got Kai Kara France at plus 135 and C. Ursig at minus 167. Reach is darn near the same, the weight the same, height's about the same. Steve Ursig's got about 4 inches taller, so I don't know if it's going to matter much. Ursig is 2 years younger. Again, don't think it's going to matter much. Tapology has Ursig winning at 86%. Kai Kara France is 14. This one I could definitely see going the decision. I mean, Kai is a tough, durable dude. I mean, not as tough as Ursig. I think Ursig's going to piece him apart, and Kai's going to get a little discouraged in there when he realizes that Ursig Astro Boy is not slowing down at all. So I could see this one going to decision. Ursig by decision.
I like that, dude.
And we'll see what Ursig by decision actually is. Let's see here. Ursig inside the distance is minus 165.
Okay, can I just guess Ursig, let's just say Steve Ursig wins via unanimous decision. Okay? I'm just gonna guess a money line. Like, they gotta give us a decent plus money, like plus 180, plus 190, maybe plus 200. Plus 180. We'll say plus 180. Okay?
Okay.
What do you think?
By unanimous decision, so Ursig by unanimous decision is plus 165.
Is it?
So you're close.
Plus 165?
Yeah.
Let me look for it here.
You're close.
Yeah, is right there. Plus 165. All right, so they're gonna give us a little less than I thought. But I agree with you, dude. I don't have to take too much time on that. I respect Kai Car France. I think he's great. Steve Ursig is a big flyweight. He's like 4 or 5 inches taller
Yeah.
than him. Steve Ursig's hands are nasty, like super clean. He's got power, and then his submission game is where it's at, dude. His submission game is lights out, like great Australian submission on the ground and everything. So
Ursig by submissions plus 500.
really, plus 500.
That'd be interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I wasn't all on Ursig right away. I mean, I started paying attention to him after he beat Alacio Costa. And then he had the Matt Schnell fight, and I actually had Matt Schnell that one. But Ursig won me over after that. I mean, that was just nasty.
Brother?
I did, I know.
No, I get
I
it.
thought Ursig was just a little too much blown up. It wasn't quite right for the hype, but boy, was I rock.
Oh, man, I get it. I just, yeah. Matt Schnell.
And then the performance he put on Pantoja, too, I was like, wow, all right, this guy's here to stay.
All right, man. Well, I agree with you on Steve. I think Steve, honestly, in my opinion, I could see Steve. I'm gonna say Steve could knock him out, but I primarily think decision, and I'm definitely gonna add that to a parlay piece. You can get Steve Ursig at plus, what'd you say, 165? Because he's
For unanimous.
Probably unanimous. Could be a fucking split, which would be even more, probably way crazier. What is that? I have to look at that. Split decision.
But with him being in the homeboy, I mean, he can basically walk to the arena. He's going to put on a show.
Yeah. So, plus 165, splits of plus 550. I just think Kai Car France is a great boxer and hits hard. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Submission, TKO or decision. In my opinion, probably decision, though. So, we can move on from that if you're good with that. We're 2 for 2. We're on the same side.
Yeah. Are we going to get a little different on this one?
Maybe. I'll let you, do you want me to go first on this one or you? Metsus Gamrod.
Doesn't matter to me.
Alright, I'll take
Doesn't matter to me.
I'm not going to say I've been back and forth on this fight because it's not like I've been back and forth. But just with the price range, man, I feel like it's crazy. Like, Dan Hooker is such a good value at, what the fuck is he now? Let me look at this. It's crazy what he's at, dude.
275.
Yeah, and Metsus Gamrot was like a minus 370, so monies came in on Dan Hooker, and Dan Hooker, he even said in his press conference, he's like, "Don't ever count me out of a fist fight, brother," in his Australian accent.
Yeah.
And I get it, dude. So, but you know, I look at Metsus Gamrot. I bet him against Rafael Fiziev. Rafael Fiziev blows his knee out. Metsus Gamrot was wrestling him a lot. Metsus Gamrot is such a good wrestler, and few people that we follow is like back and forth. Like, people are saying Dan Hooker is never out of a fight, which is true, but Mateusz Gamrot is, getting the last 5 of his fights, he's been dropped 4 times. So he's been dropped 4 times in the last 5 fights. His only path to victory is wrestling. He never really finishes you, like submission or TKO. And Dan Hooker is just always in your face, throwing nasty punches. I don't know. Can Gamrot take a left hook, uppercut, straight jab? Like, I don't know. Dan Hooker's got nasty knees up the middle when Gamrot's coming in for a takedown, because he knows he's coming for a takedown.
That's what I'm hoping is going to happen. He's going to catch a knee.
So I don't know, man. This is another one you can get, like Mateusz Gamrot majority decision at like a plus 130 or something, which give me plus money on a big favorite. Probably the most possible outcome. But there's another one. Let me look at here. Dan Hooker. Hear me out. They're in New Zealand or Australia, which is Dan Hooker's like hometown. New Auckland, whatever. Everyone likes Dan Hooker there. Dan Hooker by split or majority decision plus 1,400. He just had a split decision with Jalen Turner. He got
That's
head kicked.
sneaky.
He got head kicked, and he rose back from the grave and came out there in the second and third, and beat the shit out of Jalen Turner. What if Mateus Gamrot starts getting takedown stuffed, and Dan Hooker, beats him up in the third round, makes it a really close. Whoever wins the third round wins by split probably, and he beats him up, and it's like, barely, and it's a split decision. That's a plus 1400, man. I just feel like Dan Hooker is one of those guys where you put money on him, he's gonna fight for your money. Like, look at him the fight.
He will. Oh, always has, always will. Yeah, yeah.
So,
I like that, especially the judges over there by decision. Plus 1400, dude.
exactly, man. So, excuse me here.
I like that.
But
The only issue I have is like the biggest kink in Dan Hooker's armor is chain wrestling when it comes to chain wrestling. And Matus Gamrot is very good at chain wrestling. Like, he'll go for takedown, he'll go for another takedown, he'll try a different angle. And I mean, Hooker's got great like defense, takedown defense initially. Because what is it? Yeah, off UFC stats, his takedown defense is 80%. I mean, Gamrot's 90, but I mean, if he can, that's the only issue I have with that is like depends on how many times Matus is really going. So if Hooker can give him different looks, throw in a couple knees to make him hesitate coming out of those takedowns. I also have Hooker in this one. I've done a couple bets with him, and I mean, for this fight, it's kind of like dog or pass for me. Like you said, like Hooker's going to fight for your money. So
yeah,
yeah,
but excuse me, hear me out on this one too. So a year or a year and a half ago, um, excuse me, Gamrot, he fought Arman Sarukian. Super close fight, won by split decision. It was a really close fight. I think he did win by split decision. Now Arman,
he wants that one.
Arman just beat Charles Oliveira, and like, not bad, but he beat him up. He won, and I think he beats Islam. But like, where would you side with Arman Sarukian versus Dan Hooker? Don't you think Arman Sarukian would run through him?
I think we'd be kind of in a similar situation we're in right now.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fairly close.
I think a lot of people are obviously aware that the most honest path to victory is Mateus Gamrot by decision. Because his wrestling, like you said, his chain wrestling so good. He single legs, double legs, grabs your, ties up your leg or gets you on the fence, just brings you down, wears on you.
Classic wrestler versus boxing.
Yeah, Dan Hooker doesn't have a cardio problem, and he looks absolutely shredded. Mateus never looks weak. He always looks strong and shredded. So it's going to be a great fight. You're never going to catch me dead laying minus 350 on a money line on him, though, when Dan Hooker, like I said, he could knock out Mateus Gamrot. Huge upset. So I think the smart, like you said, if you're willing to take a dog, which I'll probably take a stab, I'll probably throw like 20 or 30 bucks on Dan Hooker.
Yeah.
And then a few other, 2 or 3 solid favorites that I think are going to win. And get a bunch of plus money and ride it off, 20, 30 bucks. But most of my parlays, man, Mateus Gamrot by unanimous decision. I have him by submission or decision in one. And then my favorite one is, or I just have one other one with him winning split decision. So, but that Dan Hooker split decision victory, hear me out, dude. Plus 1400. You can get crazy in there, a $5 bet, throw a few parlays together with a Dan Hooker split decision. That will be a lot. So, my official pick though, I have a few bets, contradicting myself there, but this fight could just go either way. I don't like the money line, but I'm gonna take it Mateus Gamrot by decision.
Okay. I'm gonna go with Hooker by decision, so we'll see. I'm just sticking with the homeboy there, I guess. The new and improved Dan Hooker with the bleached hair and all the tattoos now.
And Dan Hooker's bigger. He's got a 5-inch reach advantage, 2 inches taller than him. Like, Dan's he's a big guy.
Keep him at that distance. Sprawl those legs out when he shoots. Throw those knees.
Yeah, man.
We'll have to bet a shot for that one or something. Gentleman shot. Get that on video.
Absolutely.
All right. Heard it here first, folks. Right in the tussle talk.
Absolutely. So, I have to ask you, is that your underdog of the card? I mean, he's a big, but we're not done yet. You don't have to announce him yet. Whenever you want.
Yeah.
But that's a pretty big underdog. So I respect
Yeah.
it though. Like I said, I have a few bets, but my official pick for the show, give me Gamrot. So we're 2 for 1 so far on the side of each other. All right, moving down the main card. We got Tai Tuivasa fighting Jairzinho Rosenstruck.
The big boys.
The biggie boy. And both of their records, man. 14-7 Tuivasa, 14-5 for Rosenstruck. Pretty close. So we had this open up as like a pretty close line, and then a lot of money came in on Rosenstruck. Tai Tuivasa, 14-7, 4-fight loss streak against like the top guys in the division, except for Tybura. He just got submitted 5 months ago. He looked like shit. Excuse me. Fighting out of Australia. He's being his hometown. He's 31, all of 265, 6'2", 75-inch reach. Jairzinho, 14-5. He just beat the shit out of Shamil Gaziev, which I remember me and you broke that down, dude. And I said, I think Shamil Gaziev's going to win this fight, but I could see if it's not going well for him, he's going to gas out, and I could see a round 4 or 5 knockout by Biggie Boy Rosenstruck, and it was like a plus 2,500. And I didn't take it, dude, but whatever, you know. So he looked great against Shamil Gaziev. One of those things where Shamil wasn't battle tested with the best guys. Rosenstruck is like a technical, and he doesn't have to worry about getting taken down by Tai Tuivasa. It's gonna be a striking fight.
Yeah.
You know, both these guys though, man, I'm not super confident pick here because both these guys' chins are questionable. They're not the greatest. Both been knocked out. Bam Bam's on a 4-fight losing streak. If he loses again, the UFC will still keep him because everyone loves him. You know, he'll lose and still drink some fucking beer out of some nasty Australian shoe. So, yeah, dude, I'm not super excited about. I mean, I'm really excited to watch the fight, but betting perspective is gonna be tough because either person can knock each other out. You know, it's Tai Tuivasa's bust or he's out, dude. He's like Junior Tafa coming up, but Rosenstruck can go to the late rounds and still knock you out. Look what he did to Alistair Overeem, dude. That was a big knockout. So for my real pick, give me Rosenstruck, the minus 230 favorite right now. Not my favorite money line, but I'm gonna put him in a few parlays. That could be the apple pie shitter though. Like Tai Tuivasa could knock him out in the first like 3 minutes of the fight, just putting on a crazy combos and pace, uppercuts, hooks. But I hope Jairzinho sticks on the outside leg, kicks him, beats up that leg, wears out, you know, makes him really immobile, and just pieces him up. And I have a bet here. It's Tai Tuivasa by knockout or Rosenstruck by points. So decision, plus 200. So you're gonna give me Tai Tuivasa that can knock him out in the first round, or you're gonna give me the guy that will go to decision and win at plus money. Cool. So that's what I took for this fight. But give me Rosenstruck to win the fight, just barely. Not super confident. How about you?
I'm a big Thai fan, so I'm going to stick with Thai in the hometown. But like you said, like this one, I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket. I could see it. Like you kind of said, like I can see anyone getting knocked out right away. I could be maybe feeling the crowd too much and going out there and just giving all he's got, and then he gasses out. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to set it up too much in like a lot of my big parlays. I'll probably bet on it live, but I'm super excited for the fight. I mean, who doesn't like heavyweights when they're going there just throwing down?
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Rosenstruck, like he's very smart. Like he's going to be smart in there. He's going to do the right things. But I'm just going to stick with Tai Tua for the pick for the show.
Hell yeah, dude. I like it. Now we're 2-2. There's nothing wrong with that. I like the both sides. Which, by the way, are we watching this weekend together or what's going on?
I have no idea.
Well, I just mounted our TV that we use in the garage. I just mounted it in our bedroom, so I'll have to go get it. Actually, yeah, I'll have to just go get a new TV, mount that fucker in the garage, so then I'm done. So yeah, either way, we should watch the fight unless you're busy. The You got Ty, I got Rosenstruck. Neither of us are super confident, but that's our picks. And like I said, I got Tai Tuivasa by knockout or Rosenstruck by points with plus money. Like I think that's.
I like that. I'm gonna put that in the
Yeah, bro. I appreciate it. I just feel like that's the most favorable outcome. You know. Let's see what it is now. Plus 165.
Unless it's very close, you never know with those refs. If it's very close, the judges
It's true.
might go with the favorite. I don't know.
Well, let's just be honest. Do you see Tai Tuivasa going 3 rounds and not gassing out or losing? Like I don't. But
Yeah.
You never know, man. All right, moving on. We got Jingliang Li against Carlos Prates, and another probably the chalkiest favorite on the card. Carlos Prates minus 350 favorite right now to Jingliang's plus 275. So really the same thing as Dan Hooker Gamrot right now. And when I take just a step back and look at this, I'm like, Carlos Prates, I'm really high on, and I know he's really good. He's got 2 fights in the UFC, both by knockout. But that big of a favorite, man, coming into the UFC like that over a guy that's pretty battle tested. But to tell you the truth, I've done a lot of research on this fight, and Jingliang Li is like coming off like spinal cord surgery.
Yeah.
And like kind of, that always kind of scares me when you're fighting another trained human being in the octagon. You got to be thinking about that. If he's going to be hesitant. And Carlos Prates, if you're hesitant with him, you're probably going to get sniped. But they got Carlos Prates at minus money, minus 120 or minus 130 by knockout. Jingliang Li's never been knocked out ever.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, all right, you got to be hesitant. You got to be worried about that. But then, again, look who he's fighting. Daniel Rodriguez. Not a lot of power. Hamzat for sure, but he submitted him in the first round. Picked him up, walked him around. Ponzinibbio, yeah, he's good. But he knocked out Santiago. That was in 2021, so 3 years ago. Neil Magny, he has no knockout power. Zaleski, pretty tough. I just going down the lines, like he hasn't really fought someone with like real knockout power like Carlos, so I could see it. And hear me out on this. There's a prop bet out there, Carlos Prates, because I'm thinking Jingliang Li is very tough, like right, he doesn't get finished, but this could be the fight. Like you don't get finished till you do. This could be the fight that happens, but if you want to play it smart and careful. Carlos Prates in round 3 or by decision. Carlos Prates knocked out Trevin Giles in the 3rd round. Charles Radke, I believe, was in the 1st round.
Nasty, yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, with that nasty knee 2 months ago. But 3rd round, Trevin Giles, he was losing the first 2 rounds, and then he knocked out Trevin Giles in the 3rd round. I just feel like Jingliang Li, if he's anything like he was after his surgery, I hope he is. He's tough. He doesn't get put away easy. Carlos could beat him up for the first 2 rounds and then put him away in the 3rd or decision. So you're getting plus 165 for a heavy minus 350 favorite, man. Like I feel like those values are smart to bet on because I think that's the most reasonable outcome. He either knocks him out in the 2nd or 3rd, or he can't get him out, but he beats him up a lot, and he goes a decision and wins. And you just won on a guy that's a heavy favorite, and you got plus money. So give me Carlos Prates with all that's going on.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean, we've been watching him ever since Contender Series. He was on the same week that we all watched it. I think that was at the R-Bar, right? Or sometime around there.
No problem.
But, yeah, all his fights, I mean, ended in round 2 and a minute in. Another round 2, 4 minutes in. It was both straight lefts. So we'll see if he can get it done here against the Leech. Maybe Leech will lose 2 weeks here in a row. I think wasn't Damon the Leech too? Yeah. Nicknamed the Leech or something like that. So,
yep.
Yeah, I think I'm going to take Carlos as well. The dude is a crazy chain smoker, though. He smokes like 6 cigarettes a day. Like got the best cardio ever, but just loves hitting those darts.
I did hear about that. That's
Um,
a crazy thing, man. Be a
yeah, you
president.
didn't see
Fuck
like
that.
after the Radke fight, he was like sitting outside the building just chain smoking. Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah, that's a badass dude, man.
Yeah, Carlos Prates to win by decision or technical decision. I got him at plus 250 earlier in the week, so that's the way I think I'm gonna go. I don't know if, like he's never been knocked out, Lee. Lee's never been knocked out. I don't know if today's gonna be a day, but like you said, you don't get knocked out until you get knocked out, so it could be his time.
Yeah, dude. And Carlos Prates is that guy. He seems to have like
Yeah.
dynamite and whatever he wants to throw. I could see like a nasty elbow. Like he performed that knee right up the middle. Charles Radke, tough dude, didn't want anything to do with it. And then he sniped Trevin Giles with his right straight. I'm just sensing like an overhand or an elbow, like a break elbow from the clinch. Just fucking, I don't know. I could see Jingling Lee finally like first time getting knocked out, probably retiring because, like I said, you got that surgery and you get knocked out right after that. It's not a good look. So
Yeah. Carlos goes for broke, and I think I'm gonna take him as well. Do we say the age difference was between these two?
uh,
5 years. Carlos is 31, and Jingling Lee is 36.
which is quite ironically the exact same for Tai Tuivasa and Rosenstruck.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm going Rosenstruck. Like it's a history and like what you've done in the sport. Like Rosenstruck doesn't have surgery or didn't get hurt. He's coming off a win. Dude, Jingling
Yeah.
Lee hasn't fought in almost 2 years. We can call it 2 years.
Mhm.
He hasn't fought in 2 years, bro. So
Yeah.
and Carlos is
I'm
a massive
Carlos.
prospect. He's coming off a fucking 5 fight knockout streak. Let's actually get that straight because I just looked at that quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's coming off a 9 fight knockout streak, but an actual 11 fight win streak. So 9 of those are by finish. Pretty impressive, dude. So yeah, I'm taking Carlos Prates. You are too. Okay, we can move on to the next one. We got Junior Tafa versus Walter Walker, and I'll just keep mine short and quick, dude. I was gonna pick Junior Tafa. I rewatched the last fight against Marcos de Lima, and I just thought he is a fish out of fucking water when he's on the ground, dude. He looks like shit, and I'm not even hating on the guy, but he doesn't know what he's doing down there. He's got a puncher's chance, just like Tai Tuivasa. He's from Australia. That's why he's on the card. Walter Walker looks like he's in way better shape. I've seen on his Instagram and shit. He looked like he lost like I don't know 20 pounds, and it looks like he's been training like crazy, like his cardio. I know he just lost 4 months ago, but if you're training the thing that you were slacking in, at least he knows it. I think Junior Tafa gets floored often, and yeah, give me the guy pick him. That guy that has more opportunities and avenues to win the fight. Give me Walter Walker.
Is Walter Walker like the Johnny Walker that we wanted? Like, doesn't get knocked out all goofy. He's just a little bit more stout, a little more beefy.
Yeah, man, I don't even know if it's
I'm not
the
sure.
one we've always wanted because this guy, his last fight, after all saying that, it's not a great look because he lost to Lucas Bresky.
Yeah.
Like, Walter just sat on top of him and looked gassed. But that was his first fight in the UFC. It's his UFC debut. But it's not like he got beat, like, bad. It was a split decision victory for Lucas. And I think he can do the same shit to Junior Tafa. And his brother and everyone that he trains was probably like, all right, you need to be looking for a finish when you have the opportunity, because you're in the UFC. He looked, dude, I'm saying, he looked like he worked on his cardio a lot. So I'm just looking for improvements. If he can just wear and beat up Junior Tafa all the way, being at 30-27, that's good too. I think he's beating him. Junior looks like a fish out of water on the ground. Tafa brothers don't look good when they're on the ground. So
Yeah, I don't really know which one to pick in this one either. It's just kind of a toss up as well as that other heavyweight bout. And I feel like one of these two heavyweight bouts is actually going to go to the cards. I just can't figure out which one it's going to be. So I'm going to guess it's going to be this one, and I think they're going to edge it to Junior Tafa. So I'm not confident at all though. But if it were to go the distance, I think it's at plus 160. And if Junior Tafa wins by distance or a decision, it's plus 600.
Damn.
But that's really risky. I mean, I'm not confident at all.
Yeah, Junior Tafa by unanimous decision plus 800. Damn. Walter Walker to win by unanimous decision plus 350. I think I might hammer that. There's some betting I'm going to be doing tonight, dude, and I'm going to be sending you all of them. And then, like,
Right.
everyone that's watching, watch my Tussle Talk TikTok and my Instagram page for all our bets and parlays because it's nice to see it on paper. So, all right, you got Junior Tafa. I got Walter Walker. And that's a pick 'em. So I can't say that's my favorite underdog. But I do have to pick one. And technically, he's not a favorite. I guess what would be my favorite underdog? I guess it's Walter Walker. Like that's my underdog pick of the week. Cause he is an underdog. He's a plus 110.
Yep.
Give me plus money on the guy that has way more wrestling pedigree. He does have good ground and pound and one submission. So, give me that.
Got 3 inches reach on him too, and he's 10 pounds heavier.
Yeah, exactly. I get it. Junior Tafa can dead him in the first, possibly the second, but that's it. Josh Culibao versus Ricardo Ramos. This will be a great fight. I'm taking Josh Culibao. I think Josh Culibao is a technical fighter. He's fought the better fighters in recent. Lerone Murphy and Danny Silva. He lost a split decision to Danny Silva. And Lerone Murphy's looking like a stud as recently. So, beat up Barboza. Ricardo Ramos just got guillotine choked twice back to back.
Yeah.
Tough guys, Charles Jourdain and Julian Erosa. Look what they're doing right now, But, I don't have too much to say this one on. I'm probably not going to be betting a lot. I have, 2 parlays with just money line Josh Culibao. He's an Australian too, man. Let's not get that wrong. So, slight favorite leans to the judges. I think Josh Culibao edges out a decision.
I agree with you. I don't have much more to say on that either. I mean, it's kind of proving ground for both these guys, but I'm going to go with Joshua Culibao as well.
All right, brother. Moving right on. Casey O'Neill versus Luana Santos. And both these girls, pretty girls. Fun to watch, right? I don't know, man. It's going to be a good fight. I'm not going to bet it because I've been burned by fucking Mackenzie Dern a couple weeks ago too. I would have won like $6,000 on a $10 parlay, but I had Lupi Godinez against Mackenzie Dern in a really close fight. So I'm just done betting women. But if I had to make the pick, give me the slight favorite in Luana Santos, who just has more upside. She's on a big win streak, and I just think she's the better fighter of the two. So give me Luana.
I'm the other way. I actually I like Casey O'Neill in this one. I feel like she's fought the better talent. I feel like she's tougher. Yeah, I'm gonna go Casey.
I respect it.
She's got 2 more inches on her. Yeah, she's a little bit older, 2 years older, but I'm yeah. Give me I'll dog her pass here.
I like it, man. So we were right on track in the beginning, and then we kind of been tiptoeing around each other, and a few were on. So I like it. Moving on to the next one. Huge favorite. Jack Jenkins minus. What is he now? It's insane. Minus 750 favorite against the Chinny plus 500 Herbert Burns. Knocked out by Julio Arce, knocked out by Bill Aljo, knocked out by Daniel Pineda. This guy has no chin, no cardio. You're not going to catch me dead betting on Herbert Burns. But the line is incredibly too far, so I ain't betting this, but I guess I'll pick Jack Jenkins for the show.
Come on, what's a little Herbert Burns submission round one? Let's see what that is there.
Oh, you crazy fucker.
Was it Herbert Burns by submission or Jack Jenkins by points plus 360? No, you can touch that. Yeah,
Herbert
Herbert.
Burns
I mean,
by
Herbert Burns.
submission
They're
is
shipping
money.
him from Brazil over here to Perth just to get rid of him. Like the dude has been getting carried on the ring. Like he's got no gas tank at all. Like I don't know. Maybe if you want to pull out the Herbert Burns win by submission plus 900, go for it. But no, give me Jack Jenkins.
Yeah, dude, he hasn't fought. He hasn't won in 4 years. Over 4 years. Like, you can't tell me you're gonna, pick that guy. So, all right, we'll
Dude, damn on a little Herbert Burns submission round one. He's gonna catch Jack. I'm telling you.
All right, brother.
Plus 2,500. Some maggot.
Is that what it is for round one?
Yeah. I'm gonna call you when it happens.
Or we'll be watching together if you do.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, move on to the next one, which is another insane favorite. I don't have much to say. Tom Nolan. He's like a minus 1,100. It started off, and now he's minus 1,300. Alex Reyes, terrible chin. He's like 40. Yeah, he's 38 years old against a young 24-year-old Tom Nolan. Bigger, 6'3". They got the same reach. Quite coincidentally, kind of weird. He's Australian. They're trying to push the envelope. They want to get him some wins. So,
yeah.
I'm not betting on this. I don't care about any props. Dude, put this in perspective. Tom Nolan by knockout is a minus 500. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Seriously?
It's insane. When will Tom Nolan ever have numbers like this? Like I just don't understand. Who puts minus 1,300 against for Tom Nolan? I mean, that's like that's ridiculous.
It is. And then his submission prop is plus 500. All he has is knockouts and decision, but this could be a fight where he gets submission on his regional scene. He had 2 submissions, so I mean you're laying plus 500 on a fighter that's a minus 1,500 money line. That could be something. You throw on a submission prop and get crazy plus money on a guy that's slated to knock his opponent out. What if he's clubbing him, and he won't go, and he's like, all right, I'm just gonna grab the neck and sink it in for a submission. That would be pretty crazy.
Not saying Alex has fought like the best of talent, but he's never been submitted.
Yeah, but
I just don't like this either way. I mean, Alex with that much plus money. I mean, if you really want to get crazy, throw something down. But I'm just gonna stay away.
Yeah, dude.
They're just trying to get rid of Herbert Burns and Alex Reyes at this point. I feel like they're making them fly all the way over here, lose in Perth, and they're like, all right, you guys got to go home.
Yep, sacrificial lambs. I agree, dude. All right, we can move on to the last 2 fights, which is the first 2 fights. No disrespect on these guys, I just don't have a whole lot to say. So I'm gonna pick Song Kenyang, the guy that rocked and wobbled and almost knocked out Ian Gary. Don't forget. And Ricky Glenn's been knocked out way too many times for my liking now. Last 2 fights, Drew Dober hits hard. But I'm not betting this fight, man. Song Kenyang is super low volume. Ricky Glenn can't beat himself out of a wet paper bag. But I'm going to pick Song Kenyang to win the fight. That's it. I'll throw him down. I have him on like a parlay right now for money line. I just don't think Ricky Glenn will ever win this fight. He's probably getting shipped out too. We were watching the fucking Contender Series. That's the talent game I want to see. These guys coming in, knocking their opponents out cold. Get rid of the old Ricky Glenn, Herbert Burns, Alex Reyes, in with the new. Like, that's all it is, man. So, yeah, give me, whoever the fuck we're even talking about, Song Kenyang.
Yeah, and you just brought up Contender Series. We just watched that Contender Series and lost a little bit of money on that Wes Schultz. This Ricky Glenn trains with that Wes Schultz out of that Milwaukee, Wisconsin gym, that Porta Vita BJJ gym. Yeah. So that they have some dogs in there rolling around, but Ricky's been there for so long. He's just getting a little old, and I don't know. I'm gonna take Keenan Song as well, but I feel like people should not be gambling on this fight. Maybe like just watch this one.
Yeah, I'm not gambling. Like I said, I have one part.
But we're true degenerates, so we will.
Yeah, You know me, I'll throw a $5 or $10 bet on the whole card. Absolutely.
But I will take Song as well, and yeah, maybe throw in a few parlays. I feel like it might be kind of safe. I don't know.
All right, man. We'll move on to the last fight. Stuart Nicole, which a lot of people are saying Stuart Little, making his UFC debut. He just fought 5 months ago, and I watched a few of his fights, and I was thoroughly impressed. He looks pretty solid, ready for the UFC. I think he's undefeated, but he's fighting, Jesus Aguilar, who got a split decision victory in New Mexico, where he's from, against Mateus Mendonça, where Mateus beat him up. He shouldn't have got that win. He knocked out Shannon Ross, who's super chinny. That's Jesus Aguilar's only knockout victory against Shannon Ross. Tetsuro Taira, no shame losing against that guy. So he's solid, man. I think this is gonna be a great fight. I honestly do, to start off the card, because Jesus has got to prove himself. He's like, he's been in the UFC. He's the reason why I'm here, and he's testing his skills against a young, up and coming, UFC debuter. But this Stewart guy has holes in his game, and this might actually. I don't know if I'm gonna bet it, but if this would be a solid underdog, because it's one of those things where this guy wasn't even on Contender Series or anything. He's just getting his shot in the UFC, and now you're in the UFC. So you kind of have to prove it to me that you got to beat someone in the UFC for me to put money down on you, especially when you're a minus 225 favorite. So dog or pass for me. For the pick of the show, I'll take Jesus Aguilar.
I completely agree. I was going to say the exact same thing. Dog or pass. Just for that reason, Stuart, I just feel like he's, hasn't seen the bright lights yet. And at like the hometown, I feel like it might get to him a little bit. I mean, it's not really good reasoning. They're both, like, it's a fight. It could go either way. Like you say, he's got a lot of talent. I just don't know how much experience he's seen, like, at a professional level in the ring. So it's going to be a good fight. Good fight started off the card, just like you said. They both got a little something to prove, but I'm going to go with Jesus as well. Give me that dog or pass.
Sounds good, dude. Yeah, Stuart Nicole is a good fighter, though. Like, there's no doubt about
Mm-hmm.
that. He comes out there and he gets his opponent on his back, and he's throwing bombs. He's throwing, like, actually to get you out, which you want to see that. So I'm not gonna probably bet Jesus Aguilar much. I'll probably just stick away from this fight, but he's got to prove to me that he can beat Jesus. And then on his next fight in the UFC, whoever he's fighting, maybe I'll bet him, because he proved to me that he could beat a
Yeah.
UFC
Yep.
badass guy.
Yeah. And he'll stick around for quite a while, too, whether he wins or loses this one. I mean, he'll be here for a while.
Yeah, dude. All right, well, if you guys, people still watching, we appreciate it. Those are our picks. Like I said, we'll drop me and Dylan's shit on my TikTok and Instagram, the Tussle Talk. If you like this video, please give it a like. Comment which your favorite underdog, some of your parlays and picks and stuff too.
Yeah, somebody comment down there, throw down a little parlay, and if it beats one of our parlays, then I'll throw on a $5 or $10 bet on whoever mentions that comment for the next one for UFC 306. So they beat us, then I'll give them a free bet for the next one. They can choose a 3 to 5 fighter parlay.
I like that. I like that. We should come up with more stuff like that, or like, if people go in with our, underdog pick of the week and it cashes, like, you know, we'll come up with more shit, man. But yeah, like and subscribe, guys. Leave some comments. We appreciate it. We'll be back for the next one.
Deuces.
Peace.